I do have a couple of things, only two things that I have in mind to share with you about open edX. Well, open, and the idea of conversations. I'm not a person I've been using OpenEdX for more than a year, and I created my own course on OpenEdX. I will install the platform for us, but I created my own course. And with that experience, leading the course and everything, I am not one to say that OpenEdX is the end-all, be-all, fantastic LMS that is going to change the world. It has lots of quirks and lots of words and lots of things I don't like. I don't like that I can't do Markdown to create content. I don't like that there's a piece that requires me to know HTML. I don't know HTML. I have to go and do some other things too, but I manage. So there's a lot of things that I can criticize, and I could give you a list later if you want. I would like to make some parts visible publicly on the open internet, on the open web, without people having to log in and register to see some of my content. I don't have a button that I can click to say this part of the content is searchable by Google, for example. But it's open. So, of course, there are open source alternatives for learning management systems, but I'm not interested in learning management systems. I don't care about the word management. And that's what LMSs are. Learning management systems that solve problems for universities because they can read the students list from the registrar's office and so on. I don't care about that. I care about learning. So the last generation learning management systems, I think, we're solving another problem. Now looking forward, I'm interested in tools that are online and that are open source that can enhance learning. In that sense, for me, it's very important that the platform, OpenEdX, provides extensibility through the X blocks. I think it's important to think about the platform not as this monolithic thing where everything happens, but perhaps as a connector where different components can be plugged in to provide different learning experiences. And I think that the XBlock technology is a step in the right direction. Certainly, by being open source, it provides already the possibility of that, whereas other platforms don't give you that. And Canvas is not open source, just by the way. And so that's why I'm very interested in what one can do with this software. It's extensible. For example, I'd like to see, I teach a numerical methods class with Python. How many of you guys are Python geeks or like Python or know Python? Some people in the room? Okay, good. Well, Python is an example where an open community has grown incredibly because of the fact that you can extend it. There's like the libraries. There's the central Python language, but then there's all the libraries that can do, on one hand, numerical computing, on the other hand, digital signal processing, or various other things that you can just import anti-gravity, and there you go, you fly. And what I would like to see is OpenEdX becoming something like that, where it's extensible and people can write different libraries and extend the learning possibilities through XBlocks and perhaps other technologies that can be added. That was the first topic on openness. The second topic is, the second idea I have for today is conversations. And it might sound like I'm going to talk about something esoteric, conversations, and because my statement is that we learn through conversations. Conversations, or perhaps we can say that we cannot learn without conversations. That sounds a little bit touchy-feely, perhaps, but I mean it in a very pragmatic way. How many of you guys know GitHub, for example? All right, quite a few hands went up, so I can use this as an example. When you use GitHub, the platform gives you a language that you can use to coordinate your actions so that you can collaborate more efficiently. So you can make a fork of somebody else's work, somebody else's project, which means you're interested in it and you want to work on it. You can make changes on it, and then if you think your changes are so good that they could be held by the original owner of that project, you might issue a pull request, which means simply, look, I have some changes on this piece of code. I think that you're going to be interested in these changes. Why don't you review them? And if the person that is the owner of the project decides that these are good changes, he might merge the pull request request. All of these were speech acts, if you will, named forms of having a coordinated set of actions through conversation. And GitHub, what I think did marvelously is creating those words for us, those acts that are simply, they're encapsulating things that we do through conversations. A pull request is nothing more than, you making a request to another person that is an owner of a project to incorporate your changes. We understand that the people who use that platform, and we love it, and we use it to coordinate our actions. So that is an example of how I think of conversations as something very pragmatic that we can use to coordinate each other in collaboration. And I think in learning, we want to use the same types of coordinations. We want to have conversations with learners and with other authors and come to agreements in regards to engagement with content or carrying out certain tasks to increase your skill in a certain way. And all of these coordinations between humans happen through conversations. So my ideal of a platform that enhances learning is one that is able to improve the quality of our conversations in relation to learning. And conversations can be enhanced only if we have an open context, and a context where we can behave freely and with respect. That is the importance of community in open source, and if you participate in, for example, the conferences of the Python community, you will see a vibrant coordination of people that collaborate to make fantastic products. And of course, I use these in my research and in my teaching, and I'm a fan of Python, and so I am amazed at all of that volunteer work that has created this value, people coordinated together creating value. I think that Open edX is not the panacea, but it is a launching pad where we could start talking about these things, how we can enhance learning in an open ecosystem where there are many different components that can come together and integrate, many integrations of other products, as we've seen from the presentation of Jennifer with the X blocks. And I'd like to participate in building that community so that people are encouraged to contribute their work, volunteer their work back, so that we do have all of those apps and all of those different functionalities that we can all apply in our teaching and learning.